If you're looking to buy your first sauna and you're looking for a 4-person sauna, something that can actually fit your spouse, your kids, or some friends, which I highly recommend if you're gonna spend any money on a sauna, you want something for community. We're gonna talk about the best 4-person sauna, and we're gonna be comparing the infrared sauna, one you can purchase on Amazon today, the sweat tent portable sauna, and a traditional dry sauna. What I've done is I've done some research. I've looked online. I literally just typed in best infrared sauna, and the average price of an infrared sauna, and we're going to talk about that today, is around $2,500 for a 4-person sauna. If you purchase a sweat tent sauna, it comes with everything you need for 4 people. It's currently $1,500 for a sweat tent sauna. And maybe you're watching this right now and you have no idea, what are you talking about? We're going to get into that in a second, but I wanted to talk about the price of this first because I want that to marinate as we're talking about this. A traditional sauna, and this is an indoor traditional sauna. The average price was around $4,500 for something that can seat 4 people. Now, that's just the price to buy the sauna. That has nothing to do with how long it takes to get to your house, how much it takes to set it up, and then what electricity you're gonna need to actually operate that. For most infrared saunas, for the ones around $2,500, you're looking at 15 to 20 amps dedicated. You need a dedicated outlet for that. And most of them will require 20 amps for the 4-person size. The sweat tent requires no electricity, and we're gonna talk about why in a second. And then a traditional sauna, if you're looking for something that can actually heat your sauna up, you're looking 30 to 50 amps. This $4,500 and this $2,500 does not include cost of having a licensed electrician come run the power where you're gonna set this thing up. That can be, in some cases, as much, in some cases even more, than the purchase of the sauna itself. So I want to stop there and quickly talk about it. The infrared sauna that we're talking about here is for 4 people. And usually in all of the infrared saunas that I've been to, and maybe you've been to some spas or wellness or recovery centers that have a beautiful 4-person sauna that has glass front, LED lights, maybe some chromotherapy lighting. Those are really nice. They feel really nice when you get inside them. Some of them even have speakers that allow you to play your favorite music. But for $2,500 and using 20 amps, these saunas traditionally and typically only hit about 150 degrees max. And if you're using this at a recovery center, chances are they keep that sauna on all day long. So when you get in it, it's already at the max temperature. But if you're purchasing one for your home, you also need to understand these infrared saunas panels for this price range typically take an hour, in some cases longer, to heat up to that max temperature. So that's the infrared sauna. We're going to talk about a little bit more of that in a second, but I want to bounce over here and talk about the sweat tent, because the sweat tent doesn't use electricity. It uses a wood fire stove. The entire thing is portable, meaning you can take it with you on vacation. Me and my family have a sweat tent. We actually have all 3 of these. So I think I'm one of the only people on the internet who can really talk about all of these because I actually have them all. And I'll have some recommendations at the end of this video on who all 3 of these are actually for. But the sweat tent's pretty unique in the fact that the infrared sauna, once you have it built, usually they snap all together. And once you have them built inside your house, because they're indoor only, usually that's kind of where you have it. You can slide it around on the floor. If you need to take it apart and move it, you can, but it's not something you're taking with you on a vacation to the mountains. The sweat tent on the other side, I actually have. We've packaged it up. It comes with a bag to put the tent in. It comes with a bag to put the stove in. The bench folds flat, and we brought it with us to our trip to the mountain. And because it uses no electricity, and it's portable, and it's lightweight, we were able to bring it, set it up down next to the creek, and all I had to do is get some firewood, which when you're in Tennessee, it's pretty easy to find firewood. And we set this thing up, and we were able to have a really nice family sauna session every night while we were in the mountain. The traditional sauna, similar to infrared, once you have this built, it's pretty permanent. These saunas usually use cedar on the outside, which is great. Some of them you can have set up outside in the elements as long as you have the roof kit for most. The $4,500 range, you're probably not getting a roof kit. The $4,500 range is typically a 4-person traditional dry sauna that is meant to be inside or under a cover. Now, I do want to also talk about that. The traditional sauna, I think because most of them are built with cedar on the outside and the heating element is just a stove that's inside, and I would say most, if not all, are able to make steam, so they're able to get wet. I would say there's some plus sides to the traditional sauna if you have a permanent space, and that's what I want to categorize the traditional sauna at. This is a permanent option. Once you have the traditional sauna built, you're not going to be moving it. They are extremely heavy, and they're very difficult to move. It sometimes takes a crew or a professional to install these and build these, and also move them. So the traditional sauna is more money, requires more electricity, but it's a little more versatile and it's more of a permanent setup. So if you're looking to buy a sauna and you have a spot that's already dedicated for it, you know this is where I'm gonna keep my sauna and I'm gonna live here for a very long time, a traditional sauna might be worth the investment. But if you don't have a permanent residence yet, but you do still want traditional heat, the sweat tent sauna is an easy recommendation because you save so much money that you can also buy a cold plunge for the same amount of money you were gonna spend on the traditional sauna. It's portable, you can take it with you, and it requires no electricity. It's a great starter sauna for anybody who wants traditional heat. But we're gonna talk about some downsides here of the sweat tent versus traditional here in a second. I wanna bounce over here to the infrared sauna. These are indoor only. There's not gonna be an infrared sauna that you can buy for $2,500 that you can also have outside in the element. I have an outdoor rated infrared sauna. Unfortunately, it cost about $15,000. So if you want an infrared sauna that can be outside, and I'm not talking about just outside in the element. These saunas, especially around this price range, all of the heating and electrical components are on the roof, and they use a material like a cardboard masonite on top to just kind of protect the heating elements and protect the actual electrical components that cannot get wet. Even if you have it outside under a porch, under a cover, if some sideways rain comes in, the materials on the outside of these saunas are not built to withstand any elements. So they need to be inside, locked, sealed, in a controlled environment for the entire life of an infrared sauna. So they're great starter saunas. I think a lot of people start with an infrared sauna like this because of the price, because you can just go on Amazon or go to Costco and you can purchase one. But I wanna make videos like this to really educate you before you make this decision and spend $2,500 and more plus electricity. I want you to know exactly what you're getting yourself into. So indoor only infrared sauna. If you're looking at a 4-person sauna, these are also big boxes of wood and glass, and they are gonna take up quite a bit of space. So I think a lot of times people will buy these and they'll end up putting them in the garage and lose half their garage because they take up quite a bit of space. If you put it in your gym, you lose half of that room. If you put it in your living room, you lose half of that room. These do take up quite a bit of space for a 4-person sauna. And the reason I want to talk about a 4-person sauna is because truthfully, I don't think anybody should be buying a 1-person sauna unless you're single. And even if you're single, buy a 2-person to a 4-person sauna and invite your friends over. There's nothing better than having community while you're inside of a sauna doing something difficult. So infrared saunas, indoor only, take up a lot of space, cheap, easy to enter. That's great. It's a great option for somebody if they don't want extreme heat. If they don't want heat shock protein activation. If they don't want the adaptation that comes from a sauna. They just want a little bit of infrared heat. And I have videos on my channel where I get really deep into infrared heat versus full spectrum infrared heat versus dry sauna heat and what it does inside the body. I definitely recommend you watch that video. I'll have it linked at the end of this video. I'll even have it linked down in the video description. So check that out. So I want to kind of separate the infrared sauna from these two because these two saunas both get in the 200-degree Fahrenheit range. Whereas the infrared sauna, we're pretty much maxing out at 150. Some only get to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and that takes hours to reach those heats. The sweat tent sauna, because you're just using fire, you're using wood, fire, and a stove, and it's a smaller black tent. They actually are like the perfect size for 4 people, and it doesn't take up a large footprint in your backyard. I easily get my sweat tent sauna to 220 plus degrees with just using 2 to 3 logs, and that happens in about 20 minutes. So if you're looking to get hot really fast and maximize the time inside your sauna, I don't know if I have a traditional sauna that heats up as fast as a sweat tent sauna. You do need to use wood. That's probably one of the only caveats. But it's easy and it's actually really fun. It feels cool starting a fire inside of a sweat tent sauna. And for the money, it's really, it's hard to pass up. But let's say you're not that person. You don't want to start a fire. You don't want to do any of that. You literally just want to go out there, press the button and turn your sauna on. Traditional saunas in this range, you're going to look at temperatures about 190 to 230 degrees. Now that'll take, depending on the wattage, that will take between 30 minutes and an hour as well. So using electric dry heat inside your traditional sauna has perks. It's easy, but it also has some downsides in the form of time. It will take quite a bit of time for you to get to those heats. And trust me, I have a lot of different saunas that I review and actually experiment with and explore. And all of them, even my most expensive ones, can take between 30 minutes and an hour to get to the max temperature. But now let's talk about seating, because I will say inside every infrared sauna I have been in, they all, especially the cheaper ones, use a cheap, thin hemlock seat. And I want to bring that up because when you're sitting inside your sauna, especially if you're in an infrared sauna, you will need to sit in that for 30 minutes to an hour to have any real health benefits. Nobody's going to go sit inside an infrared sauna at 149 degrees for 10, 15 minutes and feel heat adapted and feel like they've had a good detox sweat. I reviewed a lot of them. It just doesn't happen. An infrared sauna, you are going to need 30 minutes to an hour sessions in order to get any sense of benefits from them. Over here, the sweat tent, they have these custom cedar benches that actually fold out. And I would say you need about two of them in the sweat tent, the standard sweat tent. They also have a 10-person sweat tent for like a couple $100 more than this. So if you want a 10-person sauna, they have that as an option. You will need a couple more benches to fit 10 people, but they have these cedar benches that are really comfortable. They're made out of cedar, so they don't get as hot in the extreme heat, and they stay antimicrobial and antibacterial a lot longer than hemlock will. But more importantly, friends of all shapes and sizes can sit on these benches and not feel like they're going to break. The traditional saunas also typically use a cedar bench, similar size to the infrared sauna, but the problem with that is you can't really customize where you have it. Whereas in the sweat tent, you can move the seat further away or closer to the actual stove, depending on your heat tolerance and how you're feeling. Or you can get different seating, or you can stand up inside it, or you can sit on the ground inside it. You can do whatever you want inside the sweat tent because there's no permanent seats. Whereas the infrared saunas and the traditional saunas come with the seats built specifically for a specific space. And sometimes that can be good. I've seen it. Sometimes that can be bad. And I actually have a really nice traditional barrel sauna where the bench is made out of cedar, which is cool, but it also is very thin and feels like it's going to break every time I plop down. So traditional saunas have cedar or hemlock seats. Sometimes they use different wood as well. Sweat tent uses a bench that you can move around as much as you want, and infrared saunas use cheap hemlock seats. So let's recap. Best 4-person sauna currently, if you are somebody who's on a budget, obviously, the infrared sauna and the sweat tent are probably your top pick, but I do want to talk about some of the downsides. I really think we need to talk about this because where I'm looking at this, it's very easy for me to say, go sweat tent all day long. But here's the problem. If you live in a HOA community, if you don't have a fence, you don't have something where you can block it. HOAs probably won't love that you have a big sweat tent that's out in your backyard. I lived in an HOA community and they never even saw it because where I was able to put it, so it was no big deal. You're also gonna be lighting up a fire. It's wood fire stove. So you might see a little bit of smoke depending on the wood you use. Sweat tent actually sells on subscription European white birch wood, which burns very long, burns very hot, and burns very clean. But if you're not going to take advantage of a wood like that or a subscription like that, and you're going to go buy whatever cheap firewood you can find around the house or use whatever you have around the house. I've heard of people putting in like cardboard and random trimmings of trees that they've cut down with leaves. That's going to burn a very thick black smoke. It's not great for the stove, and it's definitely not great for your neighbors. So depending on the wood you burn, you might have some complaints from neighbors, or you might have some complaints from an HOA. And yes, because the sweat tent does have a stove and a chimney out the top of it where some smoke's going to come out, you cannot put this inside. The sweat tent is outside only and not under a cover either. You're going to have the sweat tent out. The good news is you can put it on grass, you can put it on gravel, you can put it on a deck, you can even put it on turf or concrete. I've had mine on all sorts of terrains, and it's worked totally fine because heat rises. The stove's about a foot off of the ground. Where the heat hits is about 2 feet off the ground, and obviously where the heat rises to is the top. So down at your feet, down at the floor level, even at 230 plus degrees inside, it's not too hot for the floor. It's not going to burn up the floor or anything like that. But it is an outside only sauna. So that's probably one of the downsides here, depending on what you're looking for. So that's something to have in consideration. The traditional sauna is obviously the most expensive route. It's the most permanent route. It's going to require the most as far as electricity. But if you're looking for a specific look, you want that cedar barrel, you want that cedar cabin, you want that statement piece when you walk out back and see, this is my recovery center. Traditional saunas are great. I highly recommend them. But if I'm on a budget, I'm trying to get my first sauna, I'm trying to get something that I can fit some of my friends into, and I have an outside setting, sweat tent all day long. I'm going with sweat tent. But if I don't have an outside, let's say I live in an apartment, I want something that's big enough for my friends and family to get into, I have a little bit more money to spend, and I have a dedicated outlet, or it's easy for me to get a dedicated outlet. Obviously an infrared sauna is great. There is the trade-off though. You sacrifice heat going for an infrared sauna. So that's one of those things you have to consider. And if I had an unlimited budget and I'm okay spending more money, I'm okay spending more money on the sauna itself, I'm okay spending a little bit more time setting it up, I'm okay spending a little bit more money on having electricity ran out to where I'm gonna be putting it, it's very nice to have a traditional sauna that you can just go press the button on. Lucky for you and lucky for me, I have all three of these saunas and I have reviewed and went over a ton of content and information on all three of these saunas. I wanted to make a video like this because I get the question a lot on Instagram. People DM me and it's like, hey, I wanna buy a sauna. Here's my budget. Here's what I'm looking for. What do you suggest? And I almost always am like, dude, get a sweat tent sauna. You can't go wrong. $1,500 gets you everything you need to get 230 degrees of heat other than wood. You got to just buy wood. You don't need electricity, which that's incredible. And if you find that you love it, like you find like, okay, I love it. I love the practice. I'm getting into the habits of using sauna on a regular basis. My friends, my family come over. My kids love it. Now I'm going to save up a little bit of money and I'm going to get myself a big barrel traditional sauna. That's a great stair step. It's great to start with a sweat tent. And there's always going to be a secondary market for a sweat tent. It's a sauna that's very easy to put on Facebook Marketplace and sell if you're stepping into another arena later on down the line. And it's also easy for people to come and pick up from you. Whereas if you started with a traditional sauna and you found like, oh man, I'm not using this thing, it's nearly impossible to put that on Facebook Marketplace and sell for anywhere close to what you bought it for. You've sacrificed money on having electricity ran that you'll never get your money out of. So I would recommend a traditional sauna to anybody who knows for a guaranteed fact they're going to be using the sauna on a regular basis, they're in their permanent residence, and they're going to be there for a very long time. If you can't say yes to all three of those things, don't do this yet. Start with a sweat tent. Start with an infrared if that's the space that you have. If you have an indoor space, if you have a little bit more of a budget. But if you came to me and said, David, I want to start using sauna. I want my family to be able to try it out. What should I do? 3 things to consider. 1, you're not going to be able to take your whole entire family to a gym and get into the sauna because a lot of times they don't have co-ed saunas and most gyms don't allow kids, right? 2, it's very hard for me to say, go ahead and just buy a 4-person traditional sauna and hope everybody enjoys it. Hope you love the look of it. Hope you love the function of it, unless that's where you're at and you can answer that question for yourself. And then 3, remember, kids get kind of bored really, really fast. And almost everyone I know who has an infrared sauna that maxes out at 150 degrees is very bored. You have to sit in there for 30 minutes plus for you to actually start sweating. If a kid or a wife or a spouse or a friend comes and jumps in my sweat tent and it's 200 plus degrees, they put their sauna hat on, they start sweating within a minute, they feel like they're doing something really, really fast. Same thing with a traditional sauna. And finally, if I had to rate all 3 of these, just rate them without all of the different variables and caveats, I would say if I was talking to somebody who wanted to buy a 4-person sauna today, I would say my first recommendation would be go with a sweat tent. My second recommendation, if you have the budget, would be go traditional sauna. And my third, this is like last ditch effort, would be go infrared sauna. And this is a really special person who has very specific needs and they don't need traditional heat. I hope this video helps you make the best selection for yourself. If you have any questions or concerns or comments, pop them down in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, my friends, and God bless.